Welcome. Now we're going to take a look at how to set up folders in our PrintVis system. Folders can be used for a variety of things and can be created at almost any point during this process. There are a couple of steps that we will take a look at. However, folders are generally used for dropping in any kind of file for a customer, such as art files or pre-press files. They can be used for storing copies of the quote letter or the job ticket or any other information for that order. To set up a folder in your system, the first thing you will do is search for folders and select the PrintVis folder groups. You'll notice that there may be some already created in your system. To take a look at them, all you need to do is highlight the one you'd like to look at and hit Edit. You can then edit any of the information on this page. To add a new one, we simply click New, and a new one's created. For storage type, we have two options. One is network, and the other is OneDrive or SharePoint. Network is going to be any local drive on your local network or machine, generally used if you have an in-house file server or a network attached storage device. OneDrive or SharePoint will be used for any cloud implementation where you're connecting it to a SharePoint or a OneDrive account. In this case, we will select OneDrive. If we'd like to name a group, this will be what this folder is used for. A description. And then the path for that folder. If we're using a local target, we can select the local target, we can create a new one, or we can select any of the pre-established ones. In this case, we're going to select our path, and it populates it with that. From there, we can create our path route. Once this is completed, we can click the Folders button to actually create the folders we have in each main folder. If we look at an existing one, you can view and edit an existing folder. And we can see that this folder creates one based on certain fields in our setup instructions. It uses the year, the customer letter, the customer name, and then the order ID, so our job number, and creates a folder inside of there called folder order. So this is going to create a folder for each case that begins in our case, 2020 folder, under the letter for our customer, under the customer name, and then the order number for this order. This could be any number of things that we'd like to do. We can also have it to copy. If we copy a case, it will copy the files so that if we are moving or creating a new case based on a previous job, we can copy any customer files that are in that folder. And set archive. This determines what happens to the folders when the job is archived. In the current case, nothing's going to happen to the folders. However, we could set it to delete empty folders, to move files to a specified archive path, or to do both. So it would move files to an archived folder, and then it would delete that empty folder. Under our new one, if we'd like to create a new folder, we simply click Folders. We can select our path. In this case, we'll do 1, and then the order ID. And that is all the information you need in order to set up your folders. Now, I had mentioned that these get automatically created at certain points throughout the job process. To view that, we go to Status Codes and look at our status codes. These status codes can be set under the Integration tab to create folders at certain points. If we have Create Folder selected under the quote, it will create the folders at the time that the request is converted to a quote and a quote number is created. If we have it set at the ordered status, it creates that folder at the time the job is converted from a quote to an order. You may want to have it created at a quote status, depending on whether or not your prepress or estimator will need to look at customer files prior to the job being created as a quote or as an order. This comes in handy if the estimator needs to look at the file for estimating purposes, or if you need to have prepress do any kind of work prior to the job becoming an order. To view those folders again, all you have to do is go into the case and click on the folder button. And this will open anything. This also allows us to open that folder, to upload files, download files from the folder, or view thumbnails if it's an art file. We also have the ability to open a file here with the appropriate application if you have the application on your local computer.